This is Zeus. He is the main ancient Greek god who uses lightning strikes to rule over the world. But in this video, he becomes a footballer and now wants to strike his opposition by scoring goals. Zeus is joined by 28 other important figures from Greek mythology who all joined Iraklis Saloniki, a team from the second division of Greece. The gods have a very simple goal: win the UEFA Champions League. Can they do it? Let's find out. This is the squad that will take on the challenge. Let's introduce some of its stars. I added all the major gods I possibly could, not only the Olympic ones. Some of those who have nothing to do with Mount Olympus are Zephyrus, the god of west winds, Helios, who's literally the sun, or Eros, whose long shots and crosses will make anyone fall in love. But don't worry, all the main characters from Greece's tallest mountain made it to the team, including our main star Zeus. All of the gods have a current ability of 100, with the main three brothers being slightly better, and a potential ability of 200 out of 200, which basically means they can become the greatest players of all time. I decided to also include characters without the godly powers. This includes the hero Heracles, who is now playing for a club literally named after him, or Adonis, who, in short, is extremely handsome. However, they are limited in both current and potential ability, and gain time just like Sisyphus. Good luck pushing that rock to the top, mate. I have to worry some of the Greek mythology fans though, because we're playing men's football, I obviously could not include female gods. Therefore, Aphrodite misses out. Sorry guys. The gods will be a part of Iraklis for 20 years before AS Roma finds out they can just copy the Greek culture and make it their own. Is this enough time to win the Champions League and maybe even the World Cup with Greece? Well, we're starting in the second Greek division, so it will be a hard challenge. But it's finally time to find out. Let's simulate the first season and see how the gods deal with the new reality. And while the new season is going on, I want to talk about two things. First, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This is probably the most random video idea you'll ever see on YouTube, and just clicking those two buttons goes a long way. Thank you. And the second thing? I have to go on a little rant, because the pregame editor is just a huge mess. Just take a look at the data from the editor. Every single player has a set current and potential ability, and it should be the same in the game, right? So I think it's all done and decide to start the save. Only to find out the players' attributes are completely messed up and I had to spend a good few hours just fixing them. Also, for some reason some of the players are being paid 30,000 euros a week. Do they want to bankrupt the club or something? Or did I just forget these are just the offerings? Oh, you're telling me the season is simulated now? Okay, let's see what happened. Why is there a literal hospital in this club? 5 gods are out with an injury. I mean, this shouldn't happen, right? And Zeus is suspended as well. This isn't good news at all. Turns out, I finished simulating right before the final match of the season. The match that also turns out to be the promotion decider against the direct rivals Niki Volou, who are level on points with Iraklis. Our team has to win in order to enter the Greek Super League. Will we see the promotion in the first time of asking? No. Giannis Lukinas defeated the Mighty Powers by scoring a hat-trick for Niki Volou, forcing Iraklis to stay put for another year. The next season may be the last one in the second tier though. Not only our team is almost certain to go up, but the division was also reformed. There are no more groups and the top 2 gets promoted. Will the gods use this change to their advantage? I mean, no, Iraklis finished second, but that's enough to get promoted. In just the second season, the gods are going up from the second tier. Not only that, Eurus, the East Wind, became the league's best player and Hades got the most clean sheets. Now it's finally time to compete against the likes of Olympiakos, aka Athens, Panathinaikos or PAOK Saloniki, and maybe even see if Iraklis will fight for a European slot. How will the gods perform in the top flight of Greece? European football is truly within reach. Iraklis are predicted to finish 6th, just 1 place behind the Conference League slot. And the 6th place is exactly where Iraklis finished the league's main stage. The gods missed out on the championship group, which had the usual top 4, but they landed in the middle group, which they won. I'm not surprised at all by this performance. Some of the gods are already rated at about 140 points of current ability. That would put them among the best players in both the champions Panathinaikos and Greece's strongest team Olympiakos. So maybe, just maybe, we'll see Iraklis chasing the league title in just the 4th season. The press still doesn't really believe those hopes, as they predict Iraklis to finish 5th. So let's see who will be right in the 4th campaign. Also, for some reason, Zeus is transfer listed. Why? And what's going on? Why is Iraklis 11th? Why is Iraklis in the relegation group? Which at least they finished in 2nd, so that's 10th overall. But what happened? The Conference League happened. Iraklis made it to the league stage, where the Greek side finished in the top 8. This meant Iraklis made it to the round of 16, where the gods unleashed their powers and came back from a 3-0 deficit to defeat Raków Częstochowa of Poland on penalties. Unfortunately, Celta Vigo was a bit too much of a challenge for now, and the gods went out in the quarter-final. I think the European adventure explains why the league performance was so poor, even though some of the gods are already rated at over 150 points of current ability, which would make them stars of a mid-table Premier League side like Brentford. And with that information, we have to expect the gods to finally win a trophy in the 5th season. Which didn't happen, not even close, but that's still the best season so far, with a cup semi-final and a 3rd place in the league. For the first time in this video, we're within reach of the league title, and now any season could be the one where the gods finally reach the Mount Olympus of Greek football. We also will see the gods in the Europa League for the first time, the 2nd tier of European football. Not for long though, Rapid Wien defeated Iraklis in the playoff round, and it means the gods will play in the Conference League, where they crashed out on CFR Cluj from Romania in the knockout playoff. The league performance also did not see any improvement. Iraklis finished 3rd again, 23 points away from title winners Olympiacos. But hey, at least Zeus became the league's best player, and that's not enough to be a top scorer. Maybe that top scorer award is what separates the gods from finally winning the league title? So the question is, can they do it in the 7th season? No? Guess where Iraklis finished? 3rd. For the 3rd time in a row. Maybe at least the Europa League adventure went better? It kind of did. Iraklis made it to the league stage, where they finished 12th. In the knockouts, Iraklis dispatched 2 Turkish sides, Göztepe and Beşiktaş, before just being knocked out by Real Betis, despite winning the 2nd match. But I'll be honest with you, I'm still waiting for a trophy to be lifted by the gods, which funnily enough could be the 2032 European Championships for Greece. 13 of the gods were selected to the Greek national team. In Italy and Turkey, Greece finished the Group A in 2nd, right behind the co-hosts Italy. The Greeks made the other co-host Turkey in the round of 16 and won against them in extra time thanks to Zeus's 120th minute winner. Zeus also scored the first penalty against Croatia in the quarter-final, leading Greece to the Euro semi-final. In it, in an insane fashion, the Greeks demolished the English 4-0, including goals from Zeus and Prometheus and a Rabona cross from Helios. For the 2nd time in history, Greece is in the UEFA European Championship final. The only hurdle standing between them and the trophy is France. Can the gods guide Greece to the top of Europe at San Siro? It would be absolutely sensational. But then I realized Zeus will start on the bench. 7 other gods and a hero Heracles will have to guide the nation to the title, while Zeus awaits to unleash his lightning strike, which may as well never come. The French humans did not ask for any permission though, and after a few missed opportunities, Ryan Cherki delivered a brilliant Rabona cross into the area, which was finished by Hugo Ekitike. The gods also got to a few chances, but Zeus's revenge showed up as Eurus only hit the crossbar. Worry not though, Zeus's own son, Heracles, managed to equalize from a rebound in the 2nd half. However, Hephaestus fouled Eduardo Camavinga in the penalty area, which obviously meant it's a penalty for France. Kylian Mbappe stepped up and showed Zeus how to lead his team by scoring into the top corner. Dionysius tried a free kick from long range, but the keeper stopped it. Unfortunately, Zeus entered the pitch way too late. He only got to one header, which he missed, and thus, the citizens of Gallia lifted the European Championship. But I'm not worried that much, there will be plenty more chances for the gods to win trophies. Could this happen on club level with Iraklis though? Take a guess. 3rd. Again, I just cannot believe it. At least Zeus got the most assists in the league. But what about the European competitions? In the Europa League, Iraklis finished 12th in the league stage. Then, the gods got past FC Basel, SC Freiburg and Bayer Leverkusen to set up a semi-final against Villarreal. In the first match, the Greek side won 4-2, only to bottle it in spectacular fashion in the away leg, letting Villarreal win the aggregate in extra time. The gods keep wasting every single chance they have to win something. How do they even want to go down in history? The gods have now turned 25, so it's a good time to stop thinking that they can win, but rather that they should. It's also a great time to look at the team's best players. There are 6 of them who are rated at 160 points of current ability or higher, which basically means they're world class. By far it's the backline that's the strongest, with Hades on goal, Andmen, the lunar god, Cronus and Hephaestus forming the center back trio. The other 2 world class players are Prometheus in the midfield and Zeus up front. On the other side of the team, we have Sisyphus, who finally got his debut in the Greek Cup. It truly is a Sisyphean task to break into the starting 11. The league is also a Sisyphean task in itself. Iraklis, you will not believe me, finished 3rd. I just cannot believe it. What is going on? There's also no progress in Europe. Iraklis were eliminated in the Europa League quarter-final by Napoli. Except I lied to you. Iraklis did not finish third, not yet at least. In fact, they level on points with Panathinaikos and AEK Athens, with one game to go. Iraklis will take on Difome in the final matchday. Winning this match, plus AEK dropping points against Olympiakos, will give the gods the long-awaited league title. In this game, Zeus assisted Hephaestus twice from a corner, helping the gods win 2-0. This, coupled with AEK's loss against Olympiakos, was enough for Iraklis to finally lift the very first Greek league title. Finally, after 9 long years, Iraklis won a trophy. The Greek league is finally theirs. Now, it's time to show the world what this team is capable of. And by the world, I mean the world. It's time for the 2034 World Cup. 14 Iraklis players were called up for the tournament in South Korea. But it was just a waste of time. Greece was knocked out in the group stage, in a group with New Zealand and the UAE. Genuinely, what is going on in this save? And to make things even more bizarre, in the 10th season, we're again having a title decider between Panathinaikos and Iraklis. This time around, Zeus missed a penalty. Thankfully, the other gods took care of the business, confidently winning 3-1 over PAOK Saloniki. This was enough to win the second league title in a row, but Iraklis wasn't done there. The team also lifted a Super Cup early in the season and won the Greek Cup for the first time in this experiment. That means it's a domestic treble. The Champions League didn't go anywhere near that well though. Thanks to Greece being 8th in the UEFA coefficient rankings, Iraklis could start the campaign in the league stage. And also finished in the league stage, but at least they got 3 wins to their name. The breakthrough, however, came in season 11. Iraklis made it to the Champions League knockout playoff round. In it, they even defeated Marseille of France. However, RB Leipzig proved the gods still have a lot of training ahead of them if they want to win the entire competition. Panathinaikos looked at that performance and thought, you not also need to take care of the league? Skill issue. Iraklis finished second. At least the gods lifted another Greek Cup. Is it enough to enrage the gods in front of their 12th campaign? Some of them are already good enough to be among Europe's best footballers. Speaking of Europe, it's time for the Euros. 15 Greek mythology figures made it to the squad, which comfortably won their group. In the round of 16, it took extra time to defeat Belgium 4-3. It wasn't any easier in the quarterfinal, as Portugal held on all the way to the penalty shootout. In the semi-final, Greece met France, and the French were again too strong, not giving much of a chance to our protagonists. Still, it was a decent performance, but we both know the gods are enraged since they lost the league title in the most recent season. They were enraged so much, they went invincible in season 12. They did not demolish the Champions League though. Iraklis and Panathinaikos both missed out on the knockout stages by a matter of goal difference. Overall, this season was finally a show of the mighty powers. The powers continued into season 13, in which Iraklis achieved a domestic treble for the second time. Not only that, Zeus absolutely dominated the top scoring charts in Greece. He scored 34 goals, 13 more than second Sophocles Kyriakidis. History was also written in the Champions League. Iraklis finished the league stage on third, before being knocked out by Sporting Club de Portugal in the round of 16. And officially, the time starts to run out for the gods to win the Champions League. The ancient Greek gods may be forever young, but they have to somehow age in this save. And turns out they just turned 30, and their attributes, especially the physical ones, will start to decline really soon. Good news, the 2038 World Cup is right around the corner. This time around, 13 gods and Heracles were called up to the tournament in South Africa. Greece comfortably topped their group before beating Ecuador in the round of 32. However, Ukraine was on a different level in the round of 16, beating Greece 3-0 and potentially ending the gods' World Cup dream. The gods did avenge this failure though, with yet another domestic treble in season 40. If only the Champions League went better, after finishing 9th in the league stage, Juventus knocked Iraklis out in the knockout playoff. Funnily enough, in season 15, Iraklis was again knocked out by Juventus and again in the knockout playoff round. In the domestic field, the league was dominated again, and the Super Cup was won on penalties. But now, it's time for potentially the last chance for the gods to achieve something major with their national team. The 2040 Euros are coming up. 14 gods were called up for a tournament in Germany. After struggling to get out of the group, it looked like Greece was on the way up after winning over Italy in the round of 16. But England defeated the Greek side on penalties in the quarterfinal. Even Kosovo made it further to the semi-finals. But don't let that distract you from the fact we're slowly coming to the end of an era for Iraklis. The gods finished the league on 5th. I'm not kidding, and I'm in genuine shock. The media still predict the gods to absolutely steamroll through the league year by year. Some of the players are still world class, but I think I found the problem. Only 13 of the players are genuinely good enough for at least the top flight of Greece. Many of the gods are simply not good enough for maybe even the second tier. At least the stars can still carry Iraklis to the knockout playoffs in the Champions League, where they were eliminated by Inter Milan. Looks like Italy is our genuine nemesis in this competition. But this could have been the very last chance for this team to win Europe's most important club trophy. At 33 years of age, the gods are already on the decline, and that decline will only accelerate. Iraklis still had the power to go all the way to the quarterfinal in the Conference League. But for those wondering where are those signs of decline, Iraklis landed in the relegation group of the Greek Super League. At least they won it and finished 9th overall. But yeah, the goal for the gods may no longer be to dominate Greek football. It may be to just survive in the top tier. However, there is still that one last chance for the gods to achieve glory with Greece. The 2042 World Cup. Here we go! 13 gods were called up. In Germany, Greece landed in the group with Ghana, Brazil and Uzbekistan, which they comfortably won, only to crash out on Austria in the round of 32. Looks like the dream of achieving glory with the national team is over. But what about club football? The lack of European football probably helped Iraklis. In the 18th season, we saw the gods climb up to a very respectable 4th place and they returned to the continental game. Zeus also became the league's top scorer with 24 goals. At the same time, Sisyphus had enough of being the third choice keeper and Odysseus went on an odyssey. Or in football terms, for some reason they retired. The 4th place in the league meant the gods are back in Europe. There, they went to the league stage and barely advanced to the knockouts. There, they went past Red Bull Salzburg of Austria, but Auxerre was out of reach in the round of 16. But about the league, guys, this is officially it. Despite still having some world class or Premier League level players, Iraklis was relegated. They finished second to last, and it means the gods will play their last season in the second division. Can they still push themselves to a result one last time and drag Iraklis back to the top flight? No, not even close. In fact, Iraklis barely finished 10th, 6 points ahead of the drop. In between the seasons, there was also the 2044 Euros. 11 players were called up from the side that just went down in the Greek league, and it showed. Greece went out in the group stage, losing all 3 games. Funnily enough, Italy hosted this tournament, and as the final season rounds up, the gods are now going to rule over Rome with AS Roma. The ancient Greek gods had an ambition to dominate the world of football, but at the very best, they were underwhelming, and extremely underwhelming. They should have had all the mighty powers to rule over the entire game, and turns out they just wasted those powers, probably on some personal drama. Iraklis, powered by the gods, only won 6 Greek league titles, 4 cups and 3 super cups. That's not even a domestic domination, let alone a European one. The best result in Europe? The round of 16 in the Champions League on 2 occasions and the Europa League semi-final. Not great when you rule from Mount Olympus. There's also this Euro 2032 final, but that's literally it. When it comes to the players, the god with the most appearances was by far Hades. The over-reliance on a select few players showed throughout the years, with 7 of them getting over 800 appearances. The best goal scorer? By far it's Zeus, who scored 480 goals, almost double the amount of his son Heracles. But that was nowhere near enough to achieve anything major in this adventure. Let's just make it clear, it was a total failure.
Or was it? Because after editing this video, I found out something incredible. Remember the season when Zeus scored 34 league goals? Turns out that was enough for him to achieve his own goal and become the best player in the world. He won the 2038 Ballon d'Or. So yes, this experiment was a huge success. But as a team,
maybe the Minecraft mobs could have done better? Wait, I actually made a video on that. And it's on your screens right now. Click it to find out how the video game characters performed.